Hey babe, hey ladies. It's been a while since I came live. Happy New Year. How are you doing? So, if you're new to my page, my name is Miss Linda and I help career-driven wives who are separated and on the brink of divorce get back love that they deserve without having to chase, without having to settle, without having to beg, using their feminine energy. Hi Charlie, hi Ola, hi Zoo, hi. So just say hi, drop your comment and let me know in the chat box where are you joining this live from. Just let me know. Hi, how are you? Okay, so hi Faith, hi Dee. Okay, so let's get into it. Chasing energy. Okay, so the other day I did a post on chasing energy and it I got so many comments around this thing. Okay, because as I coach wives, I coach separated wives and I help them get back the love that they deserve using their feminine energy. And the comment I kept getting over and over again was like, oh my goodness, Linda, I had no idea I am chasing. Okay, so what is chasing energy? Chasing energy simply means that your whole entire world revolves around your hubby. Your whole entire identity revolves around you being a wife, you being a mother, and you feel like without that, you are not a person. Okay, so that's where the whole essence of chasing comes from. It usually comes from a sense of you are not complete without this person, without this man. Okay, so let me know if this is landing for you, because as I'm coaching so many women, I'm realizing that there's an aspect where they don't realize they've lost themselves. Yeah, and it's normal because all us as wives, we all want to stay happily married. We all really just want our children to have happy homes. We love our husbands, we love our families. But at some point, it's so normal for you as a wife to reach a point where you've lost yourself. Yeah? And this whole losing identity thing comes from, first of all, society has conditioned us as women to believe that you are only a good woman if you work very hard to keep a home, if you work very hard to keep your husband happy. Yeah? So there is an aspect of society that just tells you, like even right from the point where you did your bridal shower, yeah? I am sure, like if you're like me, you sat around older women, you sat around aunties, even in church, and they tell you it's a woman who keeps a home. So what that happens is it's like you step into this whole identity where you're the one who is constantly fixing. Okay? And that's the first aspect why women chase. The second reason why women chase, and this is a huge one, is low self-worth. Okay? It's like at some point after you've been married, yes, this man went down on his knee, you are his dream woman, he married you, you started a family, but somewhere in this whole marriage thing, 6 years, 7 years later, you've lost yourself. Yeah? And of course, with time, because what tends to happen, we put on weight, you get older, you become more mature, and somehow you find yourself like if you're no longer in your 20s, you're now in your 40s, there's this conditioning that says that makes you believe that you cannot get anything better out there. So what I'm noticing is so many of my clients feel like, oh my goodness, yes, even if they're separated, even if this man took care of them, even if this man valued them at some point, it's like they have this fear of, Linda, I am so desperate, I will never ever be able to get any other man. So let me do everything it takes to make the relationship work. And my perspective is this. By the time you're coming to me or any coach, any relationship coach who you want to work with, please make sure they help you reclaim your power. That's the first thing. They help you come home to yourself. Yeah? Because this is one of the reasons why I personally didn't even go back to church, because I always felt some of those teachings were around me submitting and doing more as women, we already do so much. We are already very caring. Okay, so you are taught to open that door at midnight when your hubby comes home, because that's what a good woman does. You continue being this good woman, but what you're doing is you lack boundaries. 10 years later, you've trained a man to treat you in a certain way, but that also is because you felt that is the standard you set for yourself. So wives who chase, what tends to happen when you continue chasing? What's an example of chasing? Opening a door at 4 in the morning when he has come home drunk. Yes, you might yell, you might keep quiet, but at the end of the day, still you don't do anything about it. Another sign you're chasing, you're always the one initiating intimacy. And all these signs, you will realize, come up as a result of a relationship disconnecting. Okay? And even before a relationship disconnects, usually one of the reasons is because you are chasing in the first place. There's this whole thing of you're so needy, you're so clingy. It's like you need this validation 24/7 to be this good, perfect wife. But who are you? Who are you? Who are you as a woman? Who are you outside your career? Who are you outside the role as a wife? Yeah? And I've mentioned 2 instances where women chase. Okay? You lack boundaries. Another big one, and I got so many comments around this, and feel free to drop your question. I got a comment around this. So many wives, December holidays is usually like 1,000 times more stress. Okay? You've been working January to December. Okay? You're not happy having to go up country. But because you are this good wife, you set this impossible standard, you want to go home up country and toil. And let me tell you, I've been married 13 years. It's not easy. Always, I have amazing in-laws. But I can imagine if that is the only chance you are a corporate working woman, that's the only chance you get a time to take a break. And the only plan is going up country for 2 weeks. Up country is up country. Your in-laws are your in-laws. And then you come back, maybe you have 1 more week remaining, your nanny is not there. Yeah? So all your support systems, you will find your December holidays, maybe for the last 10 years, has been around you toiling. And do you enjoy? No, you don't. And how that turns into chasing is because you are stepping out of yourself. You're abandoning yourself so that you are happy. And this whole energy of being so scared, it's very, very normal. It's very normal to be scared. It's very normal to feel like, oh my God, I'm not a good person. But my question is, I'm 42. Are you going to stay your whole entire life living life that way? Because anything you chase, any situation you chase, any man you chase will continue to treat you horribly. Okay? So the main reason why women chase, and like I've mentioned, chasing is anything you are doing for your husband's approval. You want to wear a dress that he hates miniskirts, so you don't wear miniskirts because he will complain. That's chasing. You're always the one initiating intimacy all the time because you fear rejection. That's chasing. You are always initiating relationship talks. And one of the reasons why women have this low self-worth is because many people don't do internal work, okay? Many wives I have met, I personally never did any inner work until I reached a point where I was separating, okay? So this is the thing. So people skip steps, and I really find it amazing right now. There is so much information for single women around them doing their inner work, healing their inner child, and doing all this shadow work before they get into relationships. That's amazing. But I don't see as much emphasis on wives doing their internal work. Okay? And it does not mean that because you're single and you've done inner work, therefore you will skip. No. Because how relationship goes, all relationships go through a period where there are ups and downs. There has to be a rough patch in relationships. But the only difference is that if you are aware that you have insecurities that you need to work through, it becomes a much easier process. So how do you stop chasing? The first thing, and I've already alluded to this, and I'm also seeing this a lot with separated wives. There's a lot of chasing. There's a lot of fear. It's like, and I've been separated, so I understand it. But you cannot create a healthy relationship when you are feeling insecure. There's nothing you're gonna do. That's where, like I've mentioned, you need inner work, and internal work takes work. You can get a coach, you can get a mentor, and it doesn't even have to be me. And this is just my advice for you. Whichever coach you decide to work with, whichever mentor you decide to work with, please make sure it's someone who has been through what you've been through. First of all, so that they can understand where you are at, okay? The second thing, choose a coach and a mentor who has same values with you, okay? If you value wealth, I value wealth. If you value love, I value love. If you value family, I value family. We would match. But if you value other things that we are not aligned with, maybe you're okay with being in a polygamous marriage. That is something that is very different from me. Okay. So you really have to be wise about choosing the kind of mentors and coaches, or even if it's books you decide to read, whatever it is, let it be aligned to the kind of life you want to create. Okay. And I keep getting asked this question, I don't know who this baby is. Nima, I keep getting asked if I'm kid carrying. No, I am not. I don't know her. I don't know her. So I probably need to check her out. No, I do not know her. Okay. So chasing energy, that's a big one. Low self-esteem, that's a huge one. And another question I also keep getting asked is, why do women need to do this work? Okay. So my perspective is this. If I have a job, okay, I have a job, I got my MBA, I passed all the interviews, I got hired as a brand manager, okay? Those qualifications I had made me suitable for a brand manager, okay? Let's say I've done that job for 2, 3, 4 years, and I feel I want a promotion to be a senior brand manager. There are certain qualifications, okay? And probably at some point, maybe my boss will start telling me, Linda, this area, no. He'll probably start already giving me feedback. Now, I can decide to be wise, to pay attention, because of course work is political. I can decide to be wise to pay attention to his feedback. Or I can decide this guy is full of BS. This guy is full of BS. He's full of BS, let me not pay attention. And just keep pushing my agenda to get a promotion. And the reality is that there's a skill gap. Because what got me to become a brand manager is not what is going to take me to become a senior brand manager. What got you married as a wife is not going to be enough to keep you happily married. Now you hear the word is happily married and in a healthy relationship. Two very different things. Two very, very different things. Okay. So for me, I say if you're a smart woman, for me in my 40s, one of the things that I really value is a happy home. I do not want to hustle and be thinking about my relationship in a certain way. One of the things that I want to value, like one of the things that I would want to be the most stable place is my family, number one. Number two, one of the things I want to do is I want to be happy as a woman. I want to be happy as a woman. And any woman who is into self-development, if you're into self-growth, it took me quite a long time to get into this whole personal development space. You realize we are lifelong learners. I am a lifelong learner. Even until now, I still have my mentors, I still have my coaches. I am a lifelong learner. And then the third reason I really feel as women, we do not realize just how much influence. We have the power of influence. Yeah? Because they say the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Which hand is that rocks the cradle? And you see, when the whole world is so set on teaching you how you are weak, how you are too emotional, how you are too irrational, you do not realize just how much power you possess to influence. Yeah? But it only takes a certain kind of woman to have that kind of wisdom. And that's why for me, every day I wake up and I create, and I'm like, if it impacts even one person, even one woman, if it changes her perspective so that she can realize that she does not have to get lost in this whole marriage thing, she can create a happy home. Whether she decides to stick with her hubby or moving forward, she will still have to learn her lessons. Yeah? By the time you are doing inner work to become more secure, to stop being husband obsessed, it did not start with your hubby. It started with you when you are probably 8 years old, 6 years old, when you are still in your mommy's home or daddy's home. One of the things I hear a lot with my clients, there's a lot of wounding that happens with us as women when we are growing up. Yeah? So probably maybe you never felt pretty enough. Maybe you had a sister and you are always competing with her, and maybe daddy favored your sister and not you, so you never really felt worthy. All these things, they add up and they affect how you respond in your relationship with your hubby, like it or not. Because I have clients I'm working with right now, and some of them have been married 20 years, and the realization is like, oh my God, it did not start with this man. I've been carrying wounding from when I was such a young girl. And I feel where society is doing us wrong is they are telling single girls, go do your inner work, and then they are telling married women, submit and keep their home. But I say no. Yes, I want to be married, but I want to do it from a place of self-worth. I want to do it from a place where I don't have to feel like any single minute the rug is going to be pulled under my carpet and it's like I'm feeling insecure. I want to be able to know how to communicate in a healthy way, to, do all this relationship stuff from a healthy point of view. And the third thing, and this is a huge mindset shift, relationship is a learned skill. For me, it was never an easy journey. It did not come automatically. I did not learn how to embrace my femininity, how to communicate, how to be essential. It's not something that was natural for me. Yeah, I had to learn. I had to learn that I don't have to keep having the same arguments over and over again, because that's chasing. Most likely, that's chasing. Okay? And there is a difference when you've done your deep inner work. There is a difference between a woman who is having a conversation with a man who has come at 4, a woman who, is confident in who she is. She will speak in a very different way from a woman who is insecure as hell. A woman who feels deep down that, oh my God, yes, she is annoyed he has come at 4. Yes, she is hurt, she is separated, but deep down, her programming is that I cannot afford to lose this man, because if I lose this man, there's nothing that's going, like my whole world is over. Those are two women with the same scenario, but with a very, very different approach to how they're dealing with the relationship. Why? Because one woman is a healthy adult and the other one is trapped in her wounding, even if she is 40 years old. So let me see if there are any questions that are coming up. Hey, hi Charles. Hi Charles, Happy New Year. So babe, if you're separated and you're feeling like you're at a dead end, you have no idea, maybe your hubby has given you 60 days to reflect, go to my profile, download that training, okay? It will give you the steps that you can take to get back an intimate relationship from a place of worth, okay? From a place of worth. I feel there's a huge divide. Like by the time you're reaching my age, I've been married 13 years, There's a huge batch of women who are going through divorce right now. So many of them are turning into angry, bitter women. There's one side of the world that's going that way. And there's a group of women who are like, you know what? Even if my relationship is rocking right now, I'm at a point where I'm ready to rediscover myself. If you feel you are at a point where you want to rediscover yourself, you want to rediscover the gift of self-love, you want to do your own self-growth, you want to be a better woman for yourself and even for your children, you really want to come back home into who you are, because so many women are not themselves. You'll be amazed. From when we were children, we've been molded. You have been molded to perform for the entire life. You went to school. You had to behave a certain way for you to be liked by your friends. You had to behave in a certain way for your teacher to approve you. You've gone through uni. You started working. It's like you've been putting on masks all through your entire life. That's why you will reach a point, you will find that you are in a marriage, but you're not really you. Who really are you? And that is a huge piece, because you cannot create intimacy with a man if you're not intimate with yourself. How do you expect to create a healthy relationship if your whole entire life, you have been performing to fit a certain perspective? And it's not your fault, because that's what the whole entire world is. The whole entire world is a huge performance. And that's why until you meet this work, feminine energy work, self-development work, deep inner work, you start to come back home to who you are. And even if you're separated, you're able to have a conversation with your hubby. And it's like, who is this woman? Because deep down, you've remembered who you truly are. And you have healthier skills. You know how to manage. And for me, that is a no-brainer. As a woman, I need my own sets of tools and skills to go through life. We are different. We are not like men. And that's the other thing. You're not a man. I'm not a man. We are women. And we just do things differently. Okay. So let me see if there are any other questions. Go to my profile, download the training. And if you feel you have any further questions that you want to ask me, send me a DM and let's see how I can best support you. Okay. So to wrap up, what have I mentioned? The reason why women chase is because they don't feel worthy, really. It's a self-worth issue. And usually self-worth starts from when you're a little girl. Okay, that's the main reason. What are some of the ways you're chasing? You're always having the same argument over and over again with your husband. It really is coming from a place of fear. It's like, love me, choose me, pick me, don't leave me. Yeah? That is usually a sign that you have wounding that started right from your childhood. Okay? Always pushing for intimacy, always nagging. You're not yourself. You've lost yourself in this marriage. That is a sign of you chasing. So what do? You have to recognize that maybe there is some deep internal work that you need to do to reclaim your essence as a woman, okay? Because we are born female, but learning how to cultivate some of these skills as a woman, sensuality, your intuition, your creativity, all these things are learned skills. And the reason why you've probably never given yourself the permission to do so is that it was never really safe for you. It was never really safe for you to feel like a girl, to be like a woman, to use your intuition. I mean, everybody always says, oh, women are too emotional. Yeah, you cannot trust a woman. This is all conditioning. And remember, we live in a world that values a lot of hustle, a lot of push, a lot of pull. It's like the more you are like a man, the better for you. But in a marriage, it can't work. Because guess what? There cannot be anything with two heads is a what? Anything with two heads, what is it? Anything with two heads is just like, it looks like a demon. You can't. It's like putting two bulls in a pen. You can't. Yeah? And that's why I'm really passionate about this work, because I feel I feel so many women are going through divorce. So many women are losing themselves in their marriages just because they don't know the right information. They don't know the right way to approach things. And that's why I am here, because I had to learn through the hard way to come out on this other end. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, far from it, but I feel it's a much better way to live, like when you're true to yourself, authentic to yourself. Okay, so go to my profile, download the training. It's called The Feminine Path to Get Back Love in Your Marriage Without Chasing. I'm big. I do not encourage chasing. And that one, that chasing thing, no. I will work with you. I will coach you, but we will do it from a place of worth. It does not matter whether your hubby has given you 30 days to reflect. I will work with you. However, it's not about selling yourself short again. Okay, so let me see if there are any questions. I wish you a lovely rest of the day. Are there any questions? No. Bye. Wish you a happy Sunday. Bye-bye.